Stop now, come back. I love you.
Liar! You're with him! You brought him here to kill me!
No.
You turned her against me!
You have done that yourself.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Drew, what it do? And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about why replicas are here to stay. If you enjoy this video at all, be sure to like it. If you really enjoy it, subscribe. I think we can all agree that sneaker culture is in a peculiar place in 2021. In order to get some of the most desirable sneakers, you have to either have a bot or you have to know a backdoor or have a backdoor to the release. Which means most people are stuck having to pay resale for sneakers that they really want. And that resale price can be $100, $200, even $1,000 over the original retail price. And the problem doesn't end there. That's actually just where the problem begins. In the Star Wars analogy, I pinned Anakin as the sneaker brands that are actually releasing the sneakers. Why? Because the sneaker brands are actually enabling these foul practices to go on that really hurt the culture. Foul practices such as botting, like allowing bots essentially to be so equipped to get into the releases. And then obviously if you backdoor pairs to individuals, that only is gonna hurt the people who really wanna get the sneakers the most and only benefits the resellers. Now, I don't think sneaker brands initially anticipated sneaker culture and reselling to be such a huge hit as it is today in 2021. And I have no flack. I shoot no shade towards anyone who resells or has a bot. I'm just talking about the current predicament we're in as it relates to sneaker culture. But I don't think brands are intentionally or originally set out to have sneaker culture be what it is today. I do have to put some of the onus on them for what it has become, because they really are the people or the organizations that fuel what is happening. Like I said, most sneaker releases are flooded with bots, and it's pretty much impossible for you to get a sneaker manually nowadays, even if you really want the pair. And it's just a very frustrating process for a lot of people. But I think most people essentially understand the problem when it comes to buying sneakers nowadays. It's really tough to buy them. You have wealthy individuals who are able to pay resale, so that drives the resale up. You have bots, which make it pretty much impossible. You have backdooring, which makes it seem very unfair. Overall, the sneaker culture comes off as a pretty bad vibe just because of all the issues that are apparent in the culture right now. But when we talk about replicas, we're not just talking about sneakers, we're also talking about clothing. And in the case of replica clothing or clothing that is being replicated, a lot of times what the problem is with the original design or the original creation of the clothing is that it's too expensive. You have designer pieces that just cost too much for the average consumer to buy, but the average consumer wants to still be a part of a community, still rock an aesthetic. They just can't afford it. A good way to think about it is you have luxury fashion and you have fast fashion. Luxury fashion is very expensive. There aren't very many pieces made, and it's very hard to acquire because they're, like I said, very expensive, right? And then you have fast fashion. Fast fashion will look at luxury fashion and they'll say, oh, that's a cool little idea. I like the way they did that design. I like the way this piece flows, and they'll try to imitate it. But the reason why fast fashion doesn't have, obviously fast fashion is a huge part of fashion at this point. We can talk about that in another discussion, but the reason why fast fashion isn't as drawing or doesn't allure as many people as something like a replica does is because fast fashion imitates what luxury fashion does, but it does it in a poor and sometimes untasteful way. And that untastefulness and that re-representation of something, knowing that, if you have a capital bucket hat and fast fashion tries to make a similar capital bucket hat, everyone's gonna know that this is a fast fashion bucket hat. Where a replica, you look at the capital bucket hat, you look at the replica bucket hat, and you say, which one's which? Essentially, there's less appeal to fast fashion and there's more of appeal to replicas, and there's less of appeal to buying the luxury item for MSRP, which might be $1,000 or $800 or whatever it might be. And it's more appealing, like I said, to try to get a replica, which gets us into the next section of this video, the solution. In my opinion, replicas are the current solution to what we're experiencing with the fashion and sneaker cultures of 2021. What we're experiencing with the culture. I'm not this expert. I'm not gonna school you guys on UAs, one-of-ones, and all this other replica terminology that a lot of other YouTubers just know better because they've actually bought replicas and things of that nature, right? I have a list of those YouTubers on the screen, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain to those who maybe are unaware or maybe are aware and just like the video up until this point, that replicas are the true solution for some of the problems that are being caused by the sneaker brands, which is Anakin Skywalker in this situation, and by fashion brands, which is also like Anakin in this situation. Replicas essentially make different clothing items, sneaker items, available to the masses at a lower price without compromising the same or the almost one-to-one look of the original pair of sneakers or original clothing. So you missed on a pair of Travis Scotts. Don't worry, there's a replica pair that will essentially mirror what the Nike Travis Scotts look like. The same box, the same feeling, the same, almost everything's identical to the eye, and maybe the feel is a little bit less quality, but the thing is replicas are getting so good that they're almost one-to-one. And what we're seeing is that you're seeing that certain factory workers who make the shoes in China or that make the shoes in whatever East Asian country are literally making the same shoes for the replica factories. So you have this very kind of strange yet similar nuanced production style that both Nike uses for their sneakers and the replica manufacturers use for their sneakers. And so you have a comparable product, man. The thing is that, oh, you want a Capital hat? Oh, you don't want to pay $800? You don't want to pay resale? You said you alright? Yeah, I can take you there.
Made this one. Yeah. You said you were alright. Okay. I can take you there. Yeah. That's all you gotta do is say that.
I think you understand the point I'm trying to make, and I think you understand how replicas are becoming a feasible option for consumers in today's world of fashion. In my opinion, I feel like the replicas are here to stay unless the sneaker brands do something about it in a big way, and they kind of have a little bit. But I'll talk about that in the next section, so wait on that. The only fake or replica product that I've ever purchased in my entire life, I was actually like a junior or sophomore in high school, and I went on eBay and I was searching for some like Bape shorts. I was just getting into fashion, and I was super curious about like, how do I get some Bape shorts? How do I love like the styling of them, blah blah blah. And I went on eBay and I was like, I found some for 30 bucks. I was like, wow, $30 for some Bape shorts. Like, they look legit, they got the tags, they got everything. And little did I know that, you know, when I purchased them, got them in hand, I was like, oh, they even got the real Bape box. Like, I thought this was like legit, but it wasn't at all, right? It was definitely a fake pair of Bape shorts. And one of my friends pointed it out to me and I was like, oh, I think you're right. Like, there's a couple things that are a little bit off with this Bape head, right? And so Bape is a brand that's been copied, and Supreme is a brand that's been copied, and fakes have been created. And now that you have, you know, these fakes being made for those companies for 10, 5, etc. years, the fakes are getting so good, it's really hard to tell. And I thought I was slick back in 2014. I wasn't trying to be slick. I thought I was actually getting a good deal. But it just goes to show like how easy it is and how long fakes have been around. Like, replicas and fakes haven't been around just in the last couple of years. It's been going on for a long time. They were just poorly done, and now they're being well done. I think we're currently in a time period or in an age of remade goods. That's what I'm kind of dubbing it, in terms of the ability and the access to get goods that are remade, that are very similar to the original made goods, but at a very cheap price point. And the thing about the cheap price point is that it could be a couple things. So like a brand, whenever, like for my brand, or whenever a brand sets out to make something, they obviously determine the price of it to the consumer, right? So they factor in how much labor it takes, the cost of marketing, the cost of material sourcing, all those things, and then they add a premium so they can make money and so they can get paid, right? Now, when you have replicas, I'm not quite sure the margins of how much they're making, how much the factory makes, how much the workers make, but in order to create a product that's cheaper, you have to cut corners some way. And so I'm not sure if they're cutting corners in terms of the actual the workers who are making the garments or making the shoes. Are they not getting paid as much? Or is it about the materials that they use? The materials they use just cheaper. You know, you're gonna have a trade-off somewhere. And so it's really interesting to me that, you know, they're able to do a price that's so low. Or it goes to show that Nike, Jordan, Adidas, you know, Supreme, whatever, they're upcharging so much compared to where they're getting their product or where they're getting their resources from. The best way I can explain it is like this, if I haven't explained it well enough. If you want a Supreme shirt, a box logo shirt, and I can't remember, let's just say the Supreme box logo hoodie retails for $200. Let's just make it easy because I don't actually remember how much it retails for. So it retails for $200. It costs Supreme $50 to make, right? So that means Supreme makes $150 for each sale. It's a pretty good margin. They make 3 times the amount that they spent, right? A replica company does is they say, okay, we can make that same box logo for $50 because we know how Supreme makes it. right? And then instead of charging 150, we'll just charge, you know, 75, right? We'll make our $25. That's enough for how we're creating them. And then we can keep a step in the volume of selling, you know, 10,000 Supreme box logos at $75 versus Supreme selling 200 at $200 is the economics of it, essentially. The problem with the solution, man. Replica goods are technically illegal. And like I said before, there can be some pretty lofty fines or not jurisdiction, but pretty lofty punishments if you make replicas. And I'm not sure if the consumer can get punished, but I'm pretty sure that if you make them, you sell them, you're obviously taking someone else's trademark, which is their design, and you're repurposing it and you're profiting from it without their permission. For example, just this year, Nike has filed over 1,000 lawsuits against replica manufacturers and sellers. I mean, that is incredible. And some of the punitive damages are, you know, well over millions of dollars, right? Which goes to show that Nike is trying to do something about the fact that replicas are being made, but they're still kind of like Anakin in the sense that they're allowing bots and different methods and backdooring to happen within their company that shouldn't be going on. I think the bigger question about replicas is, where does this take the marketplace? Where does this take fashion? Where does this take sneakers? I would really love to know what you guys think down in the comment section, man. I did a poll recently asking you guys what you think of replicas. About 40% or 35% said they like them, and about 40% said they don't like them, and then 10% said they don't even know what they are. And so a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this subject matter. I just thought I'd throw my opinion in there, but I'd be super curious to know your thoughts on the matter. I mean, I created this channel to create community, to create a conversation, to create dialogue. I'm not throwing shade at anybody. If you bought, good for you. If you get sneakers backdoored, like, and you're making money and you're living your life. I'm not someone who supports backdooring, but I mean, good for you. I mean, you figured out something that other people have not, and you know, that ingenuity is something. But yeah, this is a community, man. So if you do enjoy this kind of content, I've never talked about reps before on my channel, and I'm not an expert, and I mentioned some of the other channels in this video, but hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of me. I talk about sneakers, fashion, art, and culture. If you want to send me a couple DMs on Instagram, we want to talk about it. Send me a DM on Instagram at DrewJoyner_. I would love to hear your opinion about reps and sneakers, sneaker culture, fashion, those kind of things. I would love to hear it. As always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2021. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little, you know, Star Wars, you know, skit in the beginning of the video. Spreading peace, love, and positivity to you. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Peace. Also, man, if you are not subscribed, we have like 85% of people who watch my videos who are not subscribed. Like, bro, come on, man. Put my heart and my soul into this content, man. For you to entertain you. All you need to do is subscribe, man. That's all, man.